By the time you're done, you can see that they all look deeply concerned and they're muttering amongst themselves now before Vraken stands up and he gestures for you to sit back down. So that way he can speak now. He's going to say, with all of that we have been told, I wish to now divulge a few of my dreams. And he's going to look to your group as well and to the Falcons and say, to give all of you a bit of context as well, I will tell you what has led Northwind to Davorsk in the beginning. As Edaman here is aware, and perhaps Kindness is as well, the Order of the Northwind is a military order that I founded decades ago to fight the scourge of dragons around the world. Evil dragons, dragons that seek power and magic. In the decades since I have founded Northwind, we have fought and slain a dozen such dragons around the world. And everywhere we go with the entire Northwind. We go into regions that are torn apart by war, conspiracy, and violence. And we bring the Northwind. We slay the dragons that are usually responsible for these evils, and we help establish order in these regions. And everywhere we go, we have been led by my visions. The great Baphomet, well, not Baphomet, the great Bahamut sends me dreams. These dreams are how we find these dragons. Several years ago, after our last campaign, such a dream led me here. In this dream, I was standing in a cave beneath a mountain. And out of the darkness of the cave, I felt a sudden cold as I saw yellow eyes open up, peering out at me. Cold eyes in the dark beneath a mountain. And then the eyes, they moved forward and I saw a dark figure. It was the shadow of a dragon. I could not see the face or the full form, so I know not what the dragon looks like, but it was undeniably a dragon. And I saw it crawl its way out of the tunnels, out of the cave, to the top of a mountain where it roared. And when it roared, all the mountains shook and tumbled to the ground until there was nothing but ruin. It was this dream that led me here to Davorsk, where I believed there was a dragon that was trying to take control of the region. When we arrived, we landed in a city of orcs, and we fought the orcs. We took control of the city, and that is where we've been based ever since. And I have sent soldiers throughout Davorsk to try and find this dragon. And for the last few years, I've been under the impression that this dragon was a red dragon in the eastern mountains by the name of Pashake. Pashake the Judge, she calls herself. And in the mountains she is building an army of kobolds and goblins with which she intends to conquer the nearby cities. This seemed like the right dragon. A dragon in the mountains with an army. But it has never felt right. Pashake is power-hungry, she is violent, she is cruel, undeniably, but she is not very clever, she's not very powerful. We've been laying siege to her fort recently, and we've been waiting for her to come out so we can fight her. And I myself stood at the gates of Iliaj, the fortress where she houses her army. And as I stood before that gate, I felt nothing. There was no great sense of revelation. There was no holy feeling coming over me as I stood before the gate waiting for the dragon to come out. There was nothing. It was at that moment, very recently, as I stood before the gate, that I realized Pashek is not the dragon we've come to slay. That night I went to sleep, praying to Bahamut for another vision, for more guidance. And that's when another dream came to me. In this dream, I stood in a temple before a pool of water. I watched as the water slowly turned red like blood. And I knew then that I must come here to Salahil. But I noticed something else happened in that dream. In this pool, I stepped forward as it turned to blood, and it cleared away. And it left behind 3 things. The first was a rose. A blackened rose, slowly burning. The rose had at either side of it a broken star and a dying ember, and the rose itself stood alone, the only one still standing. Across from it, I saw a tooth, an ancient fang of a dead vampire. And it was surrounded by this red mist, a blood-like mist. And on the other side of that, there was an orb. A glass orb. And I looked into the orb, and I was struck by visions within the vision. First, of a deep purple smoke with lashing tentacles writhing about. And then they cleared, and suddenly I saw 8 eyes staring out at me, each of a different color, as spiders crawled all over me. And then finally they cleared away. And there it was again. The blackness and the yellow eyes. Cold eyes in the dark. And it was then that I knew the dragon that I have been hunting, that we have all come to Devorsk hunting, is not Pashek. It is something far more ancient, far more evil. And it is not alone. I believe the dream is a warning of darker powers vying for control here in Devorsk. And I don't think the dragon is acting alone. I think it has others that are working for it. Smaller forces. I do not know who they are, but I don't believe any of them even are aware that they are working for this dragon. But this dragon is working towards something far more evil. It is not alone, this dragon. It has other, more ancient powers that it is trying to raise. I think it is missing certain ingredients or relics or something, I'm not sure. But I have come here to Salahil because I believed the answers would become clearer here. And he's going to look at Edaman now. He's going to say, and with everything that you have told me, I believe the answers are becoming a little more clear. There is a dragon somewhere in the Underdark that has likely been pulling the strings of these Kuo-toa and the various powerful mages that have been vying for control of the Kuo-toa to try to ascend to godhood. They are turning against each other now, and I think it is because of this dragon. I think this dragon is trying to use the Kuo-toa This dragon is using the Kuo-toa to try and work them into a frenzy until they latch on to the most powerful being in the region. It is going to wait for the Kuo-toa to wipe out everyone else, all other possible contenders, and then it will rise out from its cave, and that is when it will make itself known and become the god of this world. That is what I believe these dreams are telling me. I believe we have all of us been played for years, possibly decades, centuries, I do not know. But everything in this region has its magic. He's going to look around at this manor, he's going to say, even this very manor, as I sit here before you all, has the feel of its magic. Dark, ancient, unspeakably powerful. I do not know where this dragon is. I do not know if even the full force of the North Wind will be enough to contend with it. And so I have gathered us all, the High Command of North Wind, to discuss the future of Davorsk. We cannot leave this region until this dragon is found and killed. But we do not know where the dragon is. We do not know what type of dragon it even is. And we do not know the true extent of its powers. So now he's going to look again once more to Adaman. He's going to say, you have been on the front lines of these Kuo-toa more than any of us. The North Wind, we have all been so focused on Pashek, believing she is the dragon we've come to kill, that we lost sight of the Kuo-toa. You have been fighting them for a little while now. You said there's a third member of this blood pact, this triad of mages? Of Vampire Queen in the north? Yeah, the Duskgrows. He's going to nicely say, I believe that lines up with the first of my vision, the rose on fire with the broken star and dying ember. The question now is, do we send our forces to Gavincourt, where this vampire is, and try to kill her? Or will that simply play into the hands of this dragon in the Underdark? Do you believe the Kuo-toa would still follow the vampire?
They're very zealous, so unless you simple drastic to prove it otherwise, they're gonna follow what they've been following.
And as it stands, she likely has quite a following of Kuatoa at Gavincourt. He's going to think for a moment. He's going to say, do you all believe yourselves capable of killing her yourself, or would you... Oh, goodbye. Do you all believe yourself capable of killing her yourself?
Look around at his party members. You know, the three children, 3 adults.
Look, out of character, we made it this far. And he doesn't know that we have Etcher. And, like, out of character, like, we have Etcher helping us kill her because he wants her dead too. Kindness is gonna nod her head, yeah.
Isaac says, made it this far.
He's going to nod. He's going to say, because we have 2 options here, I believe. I have spies as well throughout the region, watching the movements of various players across the board. I have to keep an eye on several of the strongest of the leaders in the region to see who might be allied with the dragon. And I've had my eye on the vampire for a little while, but I never believed her to be actively working with the dragon. I don't think she is. My sources tell me that the vampire is currently building up an army, much greater than even what she already had. She already had a large army of enslaved goblins in Kenku. But now she's been bolstering her army with something else. Undead. And more than that, she has been sending emissaries to other powerful magic users. I believe she is trying to ally herself again with other demons in the region to try and rebuild her so-called blood pact in order to regain control of the Kuatoa. Specifically, she has been seeking out the aid of a mind flayer in the north and a coven of hags in the east. I do not know how these meetings have gone, but there are rumors and whisperings that she intends to take the undead she has now. And how she has been building this undead, I do not know. She's never been a necromancer. But she now has a large army of undead. And she is going to march that army eastwards through the mountains. Sorry, give me a second. Where is it? She's going to march her army eastwards through the mountains towards the city of Korkar, one of the largest cities here in Devorsk. If you all believe that you can kill her yourselves, then you must make your way to Gavincourt quickly and immediately, and kill her before she manages to cross the mountains. Otherwise, I believe that the only way we will get any answers to the dragon will be to play its game for a little bit. And that means making a stand at Korkar, taking the north wind here, and marching towards the city. Though I do not know if we'll be able to make it in time, we may have to take a stand elsewhere. perhaps... He's gonna think for a moment. Perhaps Madroth Kos. After Karkar should likely march south to gain their magics. He's gonna like to say, yes, Madroth Kos would be the next step of her invasion. So that is where we'd make our stand. And we'll have to send word to other powerful armies in the region to see if we can make alliances. So I will ask you again, Edaman. Shall the North Wind march to Madroth Kos and prepare a stand there to fight the armies of the Blood Pact and risk playing into the hands of this dragon? Or shall you go and try to kill the vampire before the dragon's plans come to fruition? Very well. Oh, yeah. We'll ensure you have the means to travel. I'm just concerned that if we kill the vampire, we may never find the dragon, but perhaps it is best not to risk the dragon awakening. Very well. Yes, but the Underdark is vast and treacherous, and I could not take the North Wind into the Underdark. Not without knowing where the dragon was. Perhaps once you've dealt with the vampire at Gavin Courts, you may find something that leads us to the dragon. Very well. The North Wind shall remain here in Salahil then, and try to project power throughout this part of the region for now. You will deal with the vampire at Gavin Courts. We shall await your word. And then from there, hopefully we will know where the dragon is. Or the dragon will go back to hibernate for another 100 years as it plots again.